When you are black and born in an African country and in a village and you are female, there is not much chance you end up holding the World Champions Soccer Cup for women above your head. There is not much chance for anything at all, even if your father is the chief of the village. To him, you are a great disappointment, being the third daughter in a row. He is even thinking now of taking a second wife to enlarge the chance of having a son. Thank God he let you go to school and not, like your sisters, have to help your mother all day with the household and be prepared to be married off as soon as you are 14 or 15 years old. You couldn't stand being in the house all day, listening to your mother's whining over your father and her worries over the dowries for you and your sisters. You know too well that there isn't enough cattle to pay the families to let their sons marrying you. It chokes you. You want to get out. So you go to school every day, leaving the house gladly, meeting the other girls on your way, babbling and giggling and looking nice in your school uniforms. In school, you love the English lessons and the sports class. Doing exercising, stretching, playing volleyball, and surprise the teacher, and surprise, the teacher lets you girls play soccer. Touching the ball, pass it, kicking it, to you it's a kind of dancing, a kind of ballet. It makes you feel free and able, you control something. The other girls don't like it much. They think it's stupid, running after a ball and not very female-like. Even your best friend Liza thinks you're silly. Even your best friend Liza thinks you're silly, liking sports classes. It will not make you very popular with the guys who want to find a wife, she says. You don't care and you don't listen. After school, you hang around the clay, dusty sports ground where the boys are playing soccer. Some barefoot, some with Nike sports shoes, some uncles send them from Holland. The one thing you hope for is that the ball will come your way so you can kick or throw it back. One day they even let you play with them. They are very surprised and call you soccer girl and laugh. You blush, give a hard kick and go. Sometimes when you walk home, one of the soccer boys walks next to you. Both of you are not saying much. He's just holding on to the ball. He is sort of captain of the school soccer team. One day he says, "What's your name?" "Melinda," you say. "And what's yours?" "Harip," he says. Back home, the atmosphere is very oppressive. "What took you so long?" your mother asks. "And look at your shoes. I hear from other mothers that you're hanging around the soccer ground with the soccer boys, that you're even playing with them. That can bring shame on the family, and you know that very well. Your father gave you permission to go to school, but don't you forget your duties here as a daughter." She starts crying. Your father is asking around in the village after the daughter of that big cattle farmer, Mr. O. She's 15 years younger than me, she shouts. You sit down with her and stroke her hair. You look around and see pots and pans scattered in the kitchen, all dirty. So you start scrubbing them with some water from the pump. You make tea and ask your mother if she wants something to eat. She shrugs. "I didn't go to market. I don't want other women to see my shame." You go outside into the little courtyard to see if the chickens have laid any eggs. You go back inside and fry some for yourself and your mother. You feel ashamed of your father and sorry for your mother, but at the same time you hate the crying and the lack of carrying on with the cooking. It will make things worse and drive your father even quicker in the arms of the younger woman. Why is your mother not screaming and shouting at him, telling him she won't have it? You know those are very stupid questions, and it makes you afraid about your own future. Will it be like this? Like your mother's life? Your thoughts are drifting away to Harib and playing soccer with him. Then your thoughts become reality when you go to the soccer ground the next afternoon. Harib is practicing all by himself. When he sees you, he shoots the ball your way. You kick it back and you kick the ball towards each other. You play the ball so that he can practice his right foot and his left foot and also the head kick. You see him smiling and enjoying himself. And then he plays the ball to you so you can practice the footwork too. It feels like you're dancing together. You're both so into the dance that you don't see the man that is standing by the corner flag watching you closely. On the way home, Harib tells you about his dream of going to Amsterdam and play for Ajax football club, just like his father. Is there a women's team, you ask? Yes, he says, and they're great. You know, there is a scout from Ajax in the village right now. You look at each other and realize you're in the same dream. You feel like you're in a bubble where nobody else can come in. But then one day, you hoped it would never come. Your father calls you all in the dining room. Your mother hides away in a corner. Your sisters and you are sitting on the old couch with the cow rug and sweating, and not only because of the heat. At your father's side sits a young woman on a little stool. She has soft brown eyes and is smiling behind her face scarf. In a flash you understand what your mother is up against. It makes you feel very sad, and you feel the growing tension when you look at your mother's face. She looks very pale. Thank you.